dashboard actions are pretty much exactly what they sound like. They are ways to drive actions through user behavior. So things like selecting points, hovering over, right-clicking, things like this can drive behaviors that can make visualizations more interactive and more informative. So to get started here, what we want to do is go up to our ribbon, and under dashboard there is a item called actions, which is exactly where you would expect to find things. You'll get this kind of dialog, and here we're going to add action, and notice that we have a whole bunch of different flavors in here. We can build an action that that enacts a filter, that highlights data, goes to a URL, goes to a particular sheet, changes a particular parameter's value, or changes set values. And we're basically going to march through most of these, not all of these, but like most of them are really, really interesting. So let's start with highlight. Highlight is what you would expect. So it's basically like as we either hover over a particular data point or select a particular data point or right click, use the menu, we can highlight various portions of the dashboard. So let's call this state highlight. And yeah, that's fine for now, because that's kind of what we have on our field here for the time being. So the source sheet is going to be when I click in this particular location, where do I have to click for this action to be activated? And the target sheet is where is the highlight actually going to happen. So in this case, I have both of these as dashboard 1. But I could say, oh, if I click up here on the geospatial plot, it's going to highlight something down here. Or it could say if I click something down here, it's going to highlight something in the geospatial plot. Let's keep it this way for now, and let's keep this as all fields for now, and just hit OK. Maybe we'll come back and edit it in a moment. So once I have this, notice that if I click on Sao Paulo, I get a highlight down here, which is fine, but I also get a highlight up here. So it's showing me which sales are actually from Sao Paulo and which are not. To get rid of the highlight, I just click over like anywhere that's not data. And notice if I go up here and click on Minas Gerais here, it highlights things down here in both cases. And so up here, for instance, if I click and I don't know what MA stands for. It's not Massachusetts in this particular case. Notice that nothing is highlighted down here because it's not one of the top 5, states with respect to this particular piece of sales. So let's just play around actually and see what happens. So if I go back to dashboard and actions, and I'm going to edit this particular action, and let's change it up. Let's say instead of for dashboard 1, let's say I only want to be able to, if I click on this bar chart, I want the highlight to take place on the geospatial scatter, but not the other way around. So let me just update this and show you what I mean. So hopefully if I click up here, nothing will happen. That's good. If I click down here, it will highlight. So you can change the highlight behavior as you choose to see kind of which directionality do you want to emphasize. It's kind of up to you. And you can kind of tune these however you like. So this is just one of the pieces. We obviously have URLs and all sorts of other stuff, but I'm going to save those I'm going to try to chunk these up so that we have separate references for each one of the actions. So I'm going to cut this one for here, but stay tuned for a whole bunch of other ways to make these visualizations more compelling and more interactive.